I really struggled today trying to start myself off with this video. I tried to make a video before and actually got down to the editing process and I was just so bored. So now it's 11:30 in the evening and I'm trying again, which really sucks because I was really looking forward to this week. It was a topic that I actually felt like I could talk about as opposed to my crappy topic which I chose last week's. First of all, I think it needs to be said that Adam needs to read the Harry Potter books again, because Harry Potter is probably the weakest character in the whole series, in my opinion. He's just a whiny bitch. Nobody likes Harry Potter. Okay, except for the stupid little fangirls. But Draco is a much more complex character. He's much more real and easy to relate to. Harry's very self-important, and while he always claims that he never goes out looking for trouble, he always does. He prides himself on the fact that he's always the one that saves the day, right down to the fact that at the end of the series, when he wants to go off and save the world, he basically refuses the help of his two friends who have been instrumental in his making, basically, through the entire series. And he claims that he does it out of selflessness, but Harry didn't even grow up throughout the course of the series. He just got more annoying. Draco became caught up in a world and in events that had nothing to do with him and took on a major sense of responsibility, and his character really developed, and it was much more interesting to read the books and see what Draco was up to than it was to see what Harry was doing, because it was just predictable, boring and selfish. He annoyed the shit out of me. Adam, read the books again and change your mind, please. Okay, public displays of affection. Unless I've had a few drinks, I'm not an overly affectionate person. So when I'm with someone and there's public affection happening, it's usually because I'm happy. And I think no matter who you are or where you are, it's important to express your happiness. There's a difference between affection and foreplay. You really have to define that. Public display of affection is hand-holding or a cuddle or a quick kiss. It's not something you do before you have sex. That happens in the bedroom or the couch or, you know, wherever you so desire, but not in the middle of the street. That's just not something that you do. And there are laws also which sort of bar you from doing certain things. But oral sex, that's taking a little bit too far. That's not affection. To actually genuinely care about somebody and to express that in public, that's a really beautiful thing, I think. In my experience, the only people who are cynical or against public displays of affection are the kinds of people who can't handle any sorts of affection, or they're single and lonely and a little bit pathetic seeming. So I think if you're the kind of cynical person who can't handle it when a person expresses their personal happiness, well, that's a really sad thing. But I think just being cute in public really isn't the same thing as having sex on a park bench, so you can't really compare it. I suppose my opinion on public displays of affection and other people's opinion of it is the same as when people talk about Valentine's Day, and it seems like half the world really loves Valentine's Day and the other half of the world really hates it. But as far as I know, and I know because I've once put myself in the same category, the only people who hate Valentine's Day are the people who have reason to hate it, and that's because they either have no one to spend Valentine's Day with or they've got no good memories from any Valentine's Day ever. It seems a shame that people feel like they constantly need to put down things that make other people happy. Just because it doesn't personally make you happy doesn't mean that it shouldn't be a good thing. It's the same for everything all over the world. Religion, politics, topics that don't interest you. It doesn't mean that it's not a good thing for other people, it's just not for you. And you don't have to bring everyone else down just because you personally don't like it. And when you're in love with somebody, you do sort of live in your own world. You exist in your own little bubble, and everything's perfect and magical, and everything's all romantically misty around the edges. And I think people need to be able to experience that, because really life's really short, and I don't know, people should just be allowed to feel things and express things, and what harm does it do, really? Just on the other side of that, though, arguments in public, that can be interesting, but it sort of depends how much detail the argument goes into. Some arguments in public are really amusing, most especially if they happen in my workplace, because they distract people from taking their shit out on me. So I really, really appreciate it when people fight in my workplace and it's with each other and not with me. But it sucks when people fight and then they try to bring their friends in to take sides. I think it's one thing to try and share your business with the whole world, but it's another thing entirely to get people to take sides. I think there should be more boundaries as to how far you negatively attack someone in public, verbally or physically, more so than there should be just public displays of affection. But that's just my opinion. And I would just like to finish on the note that some things probably should be reserved for the home, but as people who are subscribed to me on my main channel would know, it's not always the case. I have a couple who live downstairs and I pretty much know the ins and outs of their relationships, right down to which night of the week they have sex. So you can't always keep everything confined. Maybe some people just shouldn't be allowed to live in enclosed quarters with other people. Maybe if we just lived in a giant forest with little huts everywhere and we just met up once a week and everyone was on their best behaviour, the world would just be a much better place. Also, I think this should be our official recruitment week. So keep posting your video responses. If you want to respond to me, please post a video response and you can talk about anything that I've talked about, or respond to Adam's video, or respond to Laura's video on Friday. But we would like video responses this week. We want people to join our channel. We want you to prove you're good enough. So approach us. We won't approach you unless we're desperate. We're not desperate. So post video responses. Laura, I'll see you on Friday.
We're cabbages.
Also, Adam, we were just having a conversation on Skype and you said something about intros and I completely ignored it. I love it, go for it. That's on your back, so you can sort that one out. You have a crack at it and then get back to me and Laura.
The end.